Hello and welcome back to Idle Kingdom Defense. So today we're going to be pushing King's Ruins. Well, not pushing. I'm sorry. We are on stage 8290. We're not pushing King's Ruins. My mistake. But we are going to do King's Ruins. Now, as you saw, Sophia is now 5480. And we leveled her up about 200 levels. And I want to throw this extra on the castle. And we did get 24,000 for the castle. So without further ado, let's get going. And again, this is the new pattern. We changed it up. I do like this pattern a lot more. We'll see how it plays out with the next amount we have to advance. So again, we're doing really well here because of the buffs, and I sometimes forget that. So this is only why it looks so good with us capturing so many in the bottom right and stuff like that. That's all because of the buffs. Now, we are killing this fairly well. Not the best, but we are doing pretty well here. And we mostly just mop everything up. Oh, one guy left. That is a good strategy to freeze things off the screen if you have Sophia. That lets her get extra time to try and heal your castle to the max. Okay. On to the ruins too. Some ballistas. This is a pretty simple, straightforward level. Generally don't expect too many problems here. And again, this is actually our second day at 8290, so this is a 8290 difficulty. Now, the only issue I've had with the levels around here is really pushing the dogs levels. For whatever reason, the dog levels did trip me up multiple times while I was trying to push. That's the reason I've stopped at 8290, just to get some extra levels on Sophia before I continue pushing again. So I probably will push tomorrow. I'm not sure how much I'll push. So ideally I want to push 140 levels. That gets us some unlocks. That gets us a lot of unlocks for gear and stuff like that. We can finally start getting it's a 5-star legendary gear, which would be a big upgrade for our heroes. Even though our heroes are not the majority of our damage here. But it does start giving us more options. Okay, so the castle, very healthy after this. And again, these aren't the stages that I'm really struggling with when I play, you know. When I'm pushing this, that was not a stage I'm struggling with. I'm only struggling with the dog stages. And this is the ogre stage. Now, I think I did get stuck in an ogre stage once on my journey. But that was simply, we just did the ogre stage again, and as you can see, the ogres being very slow moving, they are very susceptible to crowd control. So you can see that the warriors have already stunned huge amounts of the ogres on the right. Now some have made it to the castle, now they're starting to trickle in, but again, we can just start slowing them as they get to the castle. Wow, actually, okay, more made it to the castle than I thought they would. There's a lot on the castle. But again, you know, between Evan and Harold, that we're really keeping them under control. The warriors are now... Okay, Diego's coming in. And still the castle, though, despite all this, is still very healthy. The castle's maybe at 5%, which at I think 10% or less is not a big deal. Because, okay, let's see, we'll start at 3.4 million. And on the next, this is actually the dog wave, so this might not be the best wave to show this. But you'll see Sophia immediately starts to heal, and she does actually cap the castle off. But these dog waves are really what I've been struggling with when I'm pushing. It's specifically this one, and there's another one that I struggle with. And you can see why, looking at how much damage the castle starts to really take. And again, I mean, this, for whatever reason, in King's Ruin, it's not as bad. Well, now it's getting bad. Now you can really see the dogs just eating my castle alive. This is actually the most damage I take. None of the other stages do this much damage to me. But this is the reason, like, I didn't push, because these stages with the dogs, Now, don't get me wrong, this is a stage 4. I could easily sweep this. We know it's 4. We know the pattern. But those stages are why pushing's hard. Like, it doesn't matter if I, you know, if I sweep this and I can't do it. It doesn't matter if when I pushing I can't, you know, push past that stage. And that's one of the stages that's really been tripping me up. So you can already see we're back to 2.1 million health. And Sophia's healing, it looks like about 600k now after all her upgrading, all the upgrades we gave her. We did actually get to 4-star uncommon runes. Ooh, they're actually damaging the castle quite a lot. We're down to 900k. This cannon wave has been rather dangerous. But I would expect this because this is a split wave. So basically we just have to hope that this works out in our favor with, ooh, this is intense. Again, this isn't too hard, I would say, for King Durans, but this does put things into perspective. Okay, now I think we're going to turn the tide here a little bit. We might get an extra Sophia heal off to kind of really undo some of the damage that was done to the castle. So there goes Sophia. Okay, now we're in control. And again, we'll get up to 2 million. Yeah, I don't think we'll end this around 2 million. I don't see us getting another heal off. Maybe we will. No, we don't. So 2.7, or I wish 2.7, but 2.07. So we are starting to recover. This will be another cannon wave, but these guys are much more slow moving, so I think this will be easier than the previous wave. Again, the most important thing is the enemies stay concentrated on one side of the screen. If we can keep them concentrated on the right side of the screen, then it makes it much, much easier for us. We don't have split waves. We don't basically split the wave, and everybody will, you know, mostly congregate in one thing, making it much more easier to slow and stun. And you can already see that from the health of our castle. It got up to 3 million health. And if see, this is what I don't like about Xavier's troops. So many of them run over to the right. I really wish they would run and fight the guys immediately in front of the castle. So we are seeing, though, that the castle has almost healed. The handful of guys that have... Okay, Ryan's coming to intercept some of them. Xavier's troops are doing a better job of picking them up off the wall. Okay, it doesn't matter that Ryan pulls off, because the guy that Ryan hit is now going to go follow him over there. Okay, it looks like the archers, too, are mopping the guys up on the front, so that's good to see. And Sophia has managed to top the castle off. So from a bleak, like, less than 1 million dogs, to getting fully healed in Ruin 6. And this actually is why sweeping in the ruins now is actually now disadvantageous. Because I could have swept that, and now with sweeping that, I would not have fully healed my castle. So it's more advantageous for me to actually play it out. The stages are getting slightly longer. I think we're at about a minute a stage now. It used to be closer to 30 seconds or 45 seconds. So you can definitely see that, especially look at this one. Everything grouped up in the bottom right. Some things on the castle. Leonidas coming up to mop them up. But this will get better as we get stronger. Now, I would really like to push 140 levels, but I just don't think that's going to be possible. Mostly because that would start getting us new gear. We'll have to see. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so this is 8. This is the other dog level that's very dangerous. So we did make it here with full health. So again, it's important that we didn't sweep any stages to this point. And now we're just going to see how much damage the dogs do to our castle. So again, if I was in a position where I did push, I would be sweeping this stage. And you can already see the variance in these two stages. The other stage got us down to 1.5 million, but because this stage, for whatever reason, everything clumped up in front of the castle, we're getting those stuns off. We are taking damage, but it's 2.6 million versus getting down to, I think, 1 million. So, huge difference. And Sophie even heals us up to back 3.3 million. So, very big difference. But, you know, there. Two very, very different experiences. Me, I would love to push 140 stages. I just don't know that that'll be possible with the way the dogs are so tough. Maybe I'll do some defense upgrading. Oh, look, I'll have to look and see how many shards I have. I can always upgrade the defense of the castle. The defense of the castle is our #1 defense against the dog stages. But again, I'm already up to 450. The max is 620. I forget. Somebody told me the max defense. It's like, I don't know what, I don't recall off the top of my head. But again, it is something that we will need. I apologize. I think I'm a little under the weather today, but that's okay. Regardless, I mean, again, we are mopping this wave up. We're using the time to basically keep the castle topped off. You know, we did a pretty good split. Xavier's troops are doing a good job focusing the monsters that are actually in front of the castle to pull them off. Some of them aren't. You see that one stubborn ghoul kind of sitting there hitting the castle. Okay, but we are mopping everything up, and again, we're at full health. I do really like this pattern because of how dangerous the dogs are. Is this the last one with dogs? Nope, this is again, the battering rams. This is basically a different version of the ogres. They're very easy to crowd control because they're slower. And with a lot of crowd control, they tend to get bunched up and AoE'd down. You do see Ryan kind of rush ahead there. That's kind of interesting. Leonidas is actually behind 2 of them, keeping them stunned, so that's good. But you can see a lot of them in the middle right there, all bunched up, getting slowed and stunned. So that's good to see. And after that, we are getting all the guys in front of the castle. Okay, but we're still doing really well between the crowd control in front of the castle and preventing them from even reaching the castle over in the middle. You can kind of see how well we're doing. And again, castle is in no real danger. We're going to end this with full health, which is very nice. And maybe this is the dogs. I don't remember exactly where it is. Yeah, this is the dog one. So again, this is a very nice pattern because we could sweep all the dog waves. This is the least dangerous dog wave in my opinion. A lot of the dogs clump up in the lower left, and we will see that. Diego's already down there. Alright, now some more are coming through the mid. Now they're on the castle. And pretty much a top, I would say mid to bottom fashion. But again, this basically, they're all clumped up. We're just going to go take them all out. Will take a little bit of time to mop them all up, but we're really not in any real danger here. So here we go. Everyone is getting mopped up pretty easily. And that completes that stage. And we're on to this. And again, this is a very good split. And you see everybody, all the little troops got intercepted, and all the cannons got pushed to the right. So we have a big group on the right. Again, that's best for us to AoE everything down. And we have the one little troop in the middle there. Diego's going to do a good job with him, and because of that focus of the 2 groups, really easy to just walk through this wave with no problem. And you know, these patterns that we have the spreadsheet to kind of compute the patterns, and that the reason these patterns are can be so different in difficulty is just because of the layout. If I had an extra dog wave here or something like that, it could be much, much harder. Again, we're in very good shape here. Cannons are over on the right. This is kind of similar to the stages in Conquest, because the troops don't have that much health. It's much easier to get them, you know, to take care of the troops, and then go back to focusing on the catapults on the right. So very easy, a lot easier to control here. But that's generally what Conquest does. It gives you stuff with a lot of health, and stuff that has a lot of health on your castle can really do a lot of damage. And because, again, you're split between cannons on the far right and troops on the left, the splitting of your stuns is what makes it so hard. So again, very nicely done. Now this is going to be the wave we used to start with. Very simple wave here. Just skeletons, blobs, and little orcs trickling in. Very simple wave. Used to be the wave we started on, but I like this new pattern so much more. I feel like this new pattern is a lot better because you can sweep all of the dangerous dog stages if you're struggling. And really, a strategic sweep or two on stage 4 and 8, that should be pretty achievable, with depending on your portal currency. So it's really not out of the question if you're having trouble to get to this pattern. And if you can get to this pattern, it should be very easy for you to handle those 2 stages in question. And again, we are seeing everything bunch up there like that, but that's fine. Now we just finish it off. And we end with the same stage we started, except this time it gives us 800 rubies. So this will be another successful King's Ruins for us. Very nice to see. Big stuns. We got a huge amount of troops on the right mid there. Now, based on how relatively smooth this went, I am going to try and push. I just have to determine if I'm going to try and push 70 stages, or if we're going to try and push 140 stages. I would really like to push 140 stages, and once I push 140 stages, we'll probably stop at 8430 for a bit to kind of catch up on gear. Very nice ending there. And 59 out of 60 victories now. Let's go grab our buffs for tomorrow. And double archer, double hero, and 1 slow. Nice spread. Let's look at the damage. So again, archers are actually down, doing only 36%. Christians catching up with 23%, but I think a lot of that had to do with with the type of wave it is. A wave with a lot of little guys, the archers tend to do a little worse, and Christian tends to do quite a bit better. Especially if you get really tight grouping like that did. And Sophia. Wow, Randolph actually doing almost 300 million. I don't think Sophia beat the Warriors this time. Even with all those extra levels, she did not beat the Warriors. So nice job, Warriors. You're still doing damage. But still a pretty good spread. We do have 83 skips that I can look at using in the future. Alright, so let's go through our rewards here. We have now completed that. We will complete that tomorrow, and we'll finish the weekly pass up tomorrow. Yeah, I do have 25 million steel. It just kind of keeps piling up. I probably should just... I would probably quit dismantling things. Okay, 5484. But the problem is they just would keep that little red dot there like I have something to upgrade my archers with. And let's see if we got any extra summons just for fun. We did not. We only got 100 seals out of that. So again, this is where we're at with the heroes, and I'm working on... I'll probably work on promoting Aisha to 5-star legendary next. And I will go through and rebalance Conquest after this. So that's kind of the spread. Oh, I did forget to check. I'm sure there's some money here. Another 200 seals, very nice. We're doing better and better with that every day. And that is, okay, 5485. I like that better. Every little bit counts, especially if I'm going to push tomorrow. But that's where we are with the heroes, so once again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel. If you have any questions, please say something in the comments. I always look forward to answering your questions. And again, remember, we're playing this together. I hope you're having as much fun as I am. I'm eagerly awaiting what Total War is, and I hope you are too. Thank you again, and have a great day.